And in 1995, I had one of our staff who could speak several languages come across something in Portuguese from Brazil about some kind of a strange unknown berry in the Amazon that was only consumed locally, that no one knew, not even in Sao Paulo or anywhere else in Brazil, and said it had a lot of energy. And I wondered, what's going on there? I've got to take a look at this. Just like that bit of information about the opioid receptor sites. And I pursued it. I had this dream that there was something there. And we thought at first it was maybe some caffeine or something in the product that gave him energy. So we did some research on what's called methylxanthines, which you find in coffee, tea, and chocolate. Didn't find anything. And I'm sitting there scratching my head, said, what could it be? Got some testing done, and suddenly we realized we had just found the richest antioxidant of any food in the world. So what we had to do first is we had to figure out how do we lock in, preserve all of the phytonutrients, all the chemicals, everything that's in this pulp that these people have been consuming for centuries. And to do that, we worked on freeze-drying technology. This is part of what that patent is. Once we understood how to freeze-dry it, then we could lock in its antioxidant activity. And what we had initially thought was just a few hundred compounds found in nature, things like polyphenols, flavonoids, flavanols, we suddenly realized through work that's now been done at the University of Wisconsin that there are probably over 3,000 compounds. And I had never seen anything like that before because we've been studying nutraceuticals in my research institute for years. I've been there over 30 years, and we've never seen anything with over 1,200 compounds in it. We've got over 3,000 already. So there's something really special here. And my theory is that we as human beings, probably because we came from the tropics, that is our genetic origin, that we probably were exposed to these compounds, and they used to be a part of our diet seasonally. And when you start taking in MV2 with acai and all these fruits and vegetables, which include those that come from this tropical area, your body goes, oh, thank you. I'm going to pay you back by getting back your health. I think that's fundamentally, if I could put it in lay terms, what is really going on. Now, I'd also like to, and Dallin, I sent him a note along with some of the management at MV2 to keep this really cool, but I have received the final draft of the manuscript. It's ready to go. So I think, Dallin, with your permission, I'd like to say that we are now studying the mechanism of action of how acai works at no less than the U.S. National Institutes of Health. And what's great about this announcement is this isn't funded by MV2, nor Alex Schaus, nor our institute, nor any commercial entity. This was funded by the NIH, by the U.S. National Institutes of Health. And they've been doing it for quite a while. That's the secret I've had to keep. And I had no idea what they would find, but I want you to know they are so excited about what they're going to be publishing, because we suddenly have found some of the exact pathways that are found in the acai fruit that are profoundly impacting our health in ways that we were totally surprised. And they will have one other announcement, which when I saw the results, I couldn't believe it, because they didn't see it with resveratrol, they didn't see it with vitamin E, they didn't see it with anything they've ever studied other than this acai pulp. And I want you to know that I'm going to be back at NIH next week, because I'm meeting with a lot of the scientists there, the collaborators who've been doing this research. One of our members of the Scientific Advisory Board, Dr. Penny Chris Etherton from Penn State University, will be joining me, because they really want to get into this research seriously, because they believe that this acai pulp may have profound benefits in human health. And you are the leading company in the world offering this product. And it's all because we did the research the right way. Believe me, NIH would never, ever have put their reputation, integrity, and respect on the line if they hadn't have seen not only the quality of the work, but the quality of the journals in which we published, including the #1 ranked journal in nutrition, agriculture, food chemistry in the world, according to Reuters. And that was the Journal of Agricultural Food Chem. When we published that paper in those most difficult of journals to get published in, that made a profound impact on their willingness to use U.S. taxpayer dollars to start studying this fruit and to try to understand also why is it that company like MV2 is growing that fast. There had to be something. The U.S. Department of Agriculture did develop and publish a list starting in 2004 of all of the top foods in terms of antioxidant capacity against the peroxyl free radical. That is the most predominant free radical in the human body. And what we discovered when we got acai was it blew it off the charts. In fact, I'll never forget my day. You've heard it on my tape. You've seen it before. I love describing it because it was one of those moments that every scientist in their life dreams of. It's that call from the laboratory where, Alex, are you sitting down in your chair? I just sent you an email. Open up your attachment. Yep, I see it. I click it open. He says, look at what we found with this purple powder you sent us. We're all dying to know what is it that you sent us, because they were given this blindly. And they wondered, did you put an extract in there? Did you like sprinkle lots of some kind of a chemical in there? I said, no, it's a fruit that I've been studying for some time. And they said only one thing, because it took 2.5 computer screens to the right for that line to go across. And of course my immediate response was, well, that can't be right. You know, that was a laboratory error. I mean, Alex, we knew you were going to say that. We've redone that 6 times. So at our expense. And I said, no kidding. Okay. Now, another thing too, and probably why nobody else had discovered this. You see, it's much less expensive to spray dry it. Spray dry is just to shoot it in the air. It's done with heat, and then you expose it to oxygen. And you sort of like throw it in the air, and it's sort of the water content evaporates. That's the basic way of describing it. But when you spray dry it, or sun dry it, or use other methods, the antioxidant activity is very, very low. So there's nothing to catch your attention. It's when you lock it in, because in freeze drying we do it in a vacuum. And the reason why, again, knowledge is power, is because in fruits, particularly in the tropic, you have to degrade them very quickly. You have no idea how much is falling down on the ground in the equator, that area, every single moment, and day and night. And as a result, it would just pile up and go right out of the atmosphere. If there wasn't some mechanism for breaking things down quickly, we call those oxidases. They're enzymes that rely on oxygen to break down. And what we're doing is, in a vacuum, we're locking that in without oxygen, so the oxidases can't get stimulated, so we've preserved all that antioxidant activity. Do you follow? That's in your bottle. You see all that good stuff. Okay. So we are constantly rebuilding our body. Do you understand the importance of that message? It means that if you're taking a product like MV2 and it has compounds which may be able to help you and arrest some of the free radicals and the free radical damage that those free radicals can cause, that it's conceivable you can literally rebuild your body in a year by constantly nourishing it nutritionally. And that's why I think, and that goes back to our 1995 paper that we looked at on that energy, because people in the Amazon said, when I stop drinking it, I can feel the effect. I'm not up to par. When I'm back on my acai, I am feeling stronger. But remember, they're getting the fresh juice. They can pick it in their backyard. You know, we don't have that luxury. And it degrades so fast that if in 24 hours you had that pulp in a laboratory in Boston, it's mush, it's useless, we can't even study it. So we have got to do, and we had to develop that freeze-drying understanding right there in the Amazon. That's why nobody knew what acai was in any market in the world, because it's not in any supermarket. You can't put acai fruit in a supermarket. It would be mush, it would be molded by the time it would be there. And mold would get there so quickly. Why? Why would mold? Mold would come in there so quickly. Why? Because it knows this is full of nutrition, the good stuff. So it would grow so fast on it, it would never survive in any market as a fresh fruit. So he looks at the challenges. Do you understand again? Why? When people say, well, how come I can't buy it, or I don't know about this product? Because only people in the Amazon can benefit from it. And after that, they have to understand the technology of preserving all of the characteristics and properties of the fruit and being able to put it into this bottle. And that's what MonaV has been able to do for you. Okay?